Roll call.
Dr. Zelli?
240.
Here.
Mr. Patterson? Mr. Ramos?
Okay, so it's about 2:15 and we're going to begin. I'm sorry, we already did the roll call, so we're moving on to public comment. So I see any public comment?
She got up. She's going to say something.
Ms. Gabbard, going to say something?
No. Okay, get closer to the door to beat
All
it.
right. Could I have a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
Second.
Mr. Patterson, Mr. Ramos. Roll call.
Dr. Zelli?
Yes.
Mr. Patterson?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Could I have a motion to approve the regular minutes of March 4th?
Move to approve.
Second.
Mr. Patterson. Roll call.
Dr. Zelli? Mr. Patterson?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Yes.
So, before we go into the agenda, I probably should have said something. Mr. Whitfield might be a little bit late. I'm not sure. He's running late, so maybe he'll make it, maybe he won't. Dr. Richard was not able to join us today, so I have a couple dates that he said he would be available next month, so hopefully we'll get him here next month. And Dr. Graham is ill today. So somebody want to talk about the visit? Of course, you were the only one that was there.
Yeah, I
And
just,
maybe some of our, I don't know. You want to talk about that?
I attended, and I think we had about 2 other board members, Chair Tim Williams and Mark Fowler were there, and we had a number of administrators. Ed was there, Nick was there, and my wife. So we have maybe 7, 8. Carol Harper, she joined us along with one of the photographers, Mr. Bonzar from the Journal. And as always, Mr. Hawks did an outstanding job. It is truly something to be proud of. As I kind of did a tout for Carol there at the end, and I moved back to the area in 2000. I was part of kind of the levy committee and helping to raise money. Remember, chance of a lifetime, and just thinking, okay, you see renderings, and they kept putting it off. But when you walk through this thing, it's like part college campus, part resort. To hear that it is on time and under budget for what you see. I mean, there is no way that our kids can say they can use their learning environment as an excuse for not learning. That's not the case. And I think once the community gets in there, seeing the gymnasium is incredible. The cafeteria area, the auditorium, it seats 800. And again, it's probably 80% completed, but I just can't wait for the community. I was talking to the school board members. I hope once it's complete and we start having opportunities for the community to get in there regularly to take tours, because it's huge. I got turned around 3 or 4 times when we came out. I thought I was facing an entirely different way as we walked out of we were by the gym, and I had no clue where I was at. 342 cameras? Was that something? I know over 300 cameras, which is pretty incredible. The color designs, the nice part is all the technology they waited. That was the last thing they bid out. So they got the most current technology, the hardwiring of the rooms. Seeing the chemistry labs was pretty exciting, and we all kind of mentioned that. The career tech areas, we've got these newfangled welding hoods. It just top to bottom, just things to be proud of. I saw Lorain County Community College has their own little carve out there towards the front of the building. So again, it's one of those things, if you've not had a chance to go, I would encourage you to go again, and then the first chance we get, the community needs to see that thing, because again, it's something that is going to be a source of pride, and they really thought it out very well from what I can see. So again, thanks again, Jeff, and for making the arrangements to get us in there. Anyone else want?
Yeah, anybody else want to share?
Well, I'd like to add that we, Ohio Department of Education, would have wanted to be on the tour and have representation. Hopefully we'll have another opportunity. I would have been there, but I was coming from Warren's district review, and I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, I'll probably post that. I took about 200 pictures. So.
Yeah,
We were waiting on him.
You were waiting on me. I figured it out eventually, but so I'll post it up later on, and so we'll see.
Yeah, those are some really great pictures, so that's awesome. Well, good. So I'm sure that Jeff and Aaron and everybody will make arrangements for the community to see the facility also, so thanks.
But do we, what was when is it gonna be completed? I didn't get that from Jeff. What was the date they finished it, where they think they're gonna turn the keys over? Because I know I think right now technically it's still owned by the state of Ohio until they do something or other. So is there a completion date? Does anyone know what that is?
I know we want to be able to start moving right at the end of the school year, which would be right at the beginning of June.
I mean, it's probably 80%. I mean, the auditorium is still rough, and there were a couple of the second or third. And again, I think, are all 3 buildings 3 floors? Yeah.
They're all the 2 floors, right?
Or 2 floors, that's right, 2 floors.
2 floors, the middle one's 3.
That's the middle one's 3, that's right. And that's, yeah, maybe that 3 floors isn't done yet. Okay.
So I'm assuming that you're moving new furniture in rather than moving?
Yes.
Yeah.
And most of the furniture is already in place and it's stationary. You're not going to, here you got to see like the
Oh,
classroom.
and one other thing I want to add that, again, it's reported out of TV 20 purposes, they did a wonderful job of blending the old with the new. So I was showing Bill, out front of the cafeteria as well as the gymnasium, they've got these bricks. And so you've got bricks from Southview High School, Emerald King High School, and Lorain High School, all just kind of put together throughout. So it's really exciting. They've got the, some of the cement work from Southview High School and Lorain High School in the new buildings. I mean, they really tried to kind of, coordinate the past, those histories into that new building every chance they would. I think Jeff told me there's going to be like a 25-foot mural of the lighthouse in one of the, I mean, again, it's just, there was a lot of thought and detail that went into it. They really try to respect the histories of our community in so many ways. And I think people will appreciate it once you get in there.
And also give respect to Lake Erie.
Oh, I've seen it.
Most of the designs look like a sailboat sail.
Okay.
So a lot of connections to the lake.
Anything else?
Yeah, and you mentioned the importance of having a community inside the facility. At this point, Jeff Hawks is giving dozens of tours to different segments of our community, including some of our own student groups. Our high school staff members have come through. Last night was the Rotary. They were there until 10 o'clock p.m. The Chamber's coming up. But the point being that as this is progressing, many groups have been able to travel through and the excitement is building. And thanks to the Morning Journal, they've been chronicling this for us as well. So people are getting to experience it in real life because of the excellent journalism that we have in the city.
Good, all right, thank you very much. Okay, so moving on, an update on the academic recovery.
Sure. Thank you, Dr. Zelli. Well, hopefully, if you had spring break last couple of weeks, you had a great one. I know we all did. Many of us worked through, but took some time off because we're near the push in the school year. And to put it in reality, graduation is next month. And so that kind of really puts it in perspective. And so, well, we're ready to end the school year on a good note. So what we have is we will do a brief presentation on our 6 priorities. Just kind of let you know where we're at, because we had a couple calls, and so it's been a while since we've talked about some of the work that we're doing here. So we'd like to start off with, of course, we start off with Dr. Stephen Sturgill.
Hey, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
We'll go ahead and start off with cultural competency. We're still moving forward with our mission, vision, and goals. We have a meeting next week with our cultural competency steering committee, and we're going to go ahead and finish our whole mission, vision, and goals, and also start planning our summer training, which is very important. At the end of this month, a bunch of us will go to Akron High School and visit their training. They do a 2-hour training with Akron with their high school. So we're going to go there and see their training of cultural competency.
Do you know which high school you're going to?
Did they say what high school they're going to? They didn't do that. No, they have a 2-hour training that they're training their high schools in, and a 6-hour community training that they also train their community too, that we're also going to invite to. So we're going to attend both.
I was just wondering whether it was Firestone.
What's the date that you're going to?
We don't, Pam, I don't have a date right now, that's right. We're reaching back out to them, but it's at the end of this month. I'll get that date to you, and I'll send it out to you guys. That way they won't invite more people. We're pretty excited. We met with them back in, I think it was March. Mike, and I think Brian was there also, went out there and visited actually Akron schools, visited their cultural competency steering committee and their teams, and went through their training and their vision. So we really like what they're doing. So we're going to go ahead and work with Arkansas and Dr. Knight too, and come up with a great training plan for our school districts. So we're pretty excited that they're doing great work there. We like to mirror it too.
Good, thank you.
Professional learning communities, we're moving fast and furious with, of course, our DLT meetings. We had a DLT steering meeting, I think it was yesterday. Really great meeting. A lot of the focus was working on our structural framework for our district. A lot of conversation about it. We've been meeting with staff about it also, coming up with what it would look like for the future, and also the decision framework. There's a new decision framework from the Ohio Department of Education. So we were trained by SSD2, and we worked on our district decision framework yesterday. So we're going to come back on the 20th as a steering committee again, continue to work on a decision framework, and work on how we're going to help assist our schools make sure it gets done the right way. On the 20th of April, we have our actual DLT meeting. Again, the goal of that meeting will be decision framework and help assisting our schools in completing that the framework.
Before Carol speaks, I do want to just do a shout out for Bernie Burchett, because Dr. Zelli, she's the one that really was the connection to Akron Public Schools to have us come there. So, I mean, you know, it's nice when you have someone going, hey, go here, since that's what we're trying to do. So Bernie really was.
Yeah, she's the best.
Yes. Yeah.
She's like there with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go. That's right.
And Dr. Zelli, because you're from the same area, they went to the great pizza place.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, and the reason I was asking is because the high school principal at Firestone was my high school principal at Brush High School, and just is an awesome guy and does a great job. And so, you know, it's always good to connect with people who really get the job done.
Yeah. Carol?
All right. Well, for staff recognition and retention, at this time, really the committee, staff recognition and retention, is in full swing of its implementation phase. In the month of March, the committee met twice in March 9th and March 24th. And at this point, for the initiatives, the staff awards nominations are in. So based on those student and staff nominations, the committee has selected the recipients for the staff awards. And the staff awards have been custom ordered and received, so we're very excited to get them out at the buildings. This week and next week are heavy testing weeks, so we have the date for April 19th. We don't want to interfere with any testing, as we know the students come first. In terms of perfect attendance recognition, end of the third quarter rolled around, and so we've done our analysis on who will be receiving the awards for perfect attendance for third quarter. So we are working with the Lorain City Schools print shop to create, it's a ribbon type door hanger that staff can place outside of their door, recognizing them, or in their workplace for having perfect attendance for that quarter. That is something that the staff had really wanted, was recognition for perfect attendance in that survey that we did at the beginning of the school year. So this is something that we'll see the response to, a recognition of this sort, maybe expand on that for the future. The committee is now also working in collaboration with principals, identifying our district volunteers for the volunteer recognition initiative. And for that initiative, we have a luncheon taking place at the end of April that we are scheduling. The committee is also working on the stay interviews that we had talked about before. So we've already actually implemented that and had a stay interview with a staff member, and a second one had to be rescheduled due to an illness. But we are on track for stay interviews. And at this point, the next meeting of the committee is just coming up next week, April 11th at 3:30, to kind of wrap up our initiative plans for the remainder of the year.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Carol. Erin?
In communications, at the beginning of the school year, we had surveyed our community, our staff, our students to find out what was the most impactful way to connect with them, to engage with them. And they said, we need a stronger website presence. And 83% of us are using our local cell phones for communication. That's how we access everything electronically. So we also worked on a mobile app. Both of those applications have launched. They launched at the beginning of March. And the great thing about them, besides they're beautiful and they're very easy to use, is that the content is fresh all throughout the day. The reason being that our schools have their own social media accounts. They have their own Facebook, they have their own Twitter, in some cases they have their own Instagram. And as they are going through their day and chronicling the great stories that are happening in their schools, that's collapsing into the mobile app and an activity stream, and all of that is also collapsed into integration with our website. So no matter what kind of person you are, if you are somebody who reads the newspapers, the information's in the newspapers because you're the strong presence that we have. If you're the kind of person who just wants to check through on their Twitter, it's all feeding into your Twitter. If you just want to go to the website, everything is there. So, I mean, today's tour was heavily captured. And if you go to the website, you're going to see photos and everything that everybody who was on the tour took, and it's collected there. So it's sharing their story, and it's keeping that content fresh. In my world, like, content is everything, to be able to share out exactly what's happening. So we made some big milestones, and we're going to keep pushing it. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks.
Marvelous Marva Jones. Dr. Jones.
Nice introduction.
I always try to stand up tall when he says that, or it's just Marva. So thank you so much, Mr. Becerra. When I reported in February, I talked about 4 areas that I was going to really try to focus my work on. That was rigor, the Wilson's reading system, working collaboratively with Director Monachino and Gifted, and looking at a curriculum review. And so I asked, I believe in February, the teaching and learning team and executive staff, can I really work on a working definition of rigor? And we've been doing that through trying to define our teacher effectiveness framework, examining what are the planning and skills and knowledge and products that students need, what are the components of an effective teacher in that classroom. Trying to work on a common language, really pre-K through 12, about high quality teaching and the common practices that we need to improve. Rigor really is about complexity, not about difficulty. In the area of Wilson reading, really have had numerous conversations, I should say, with teachers, principals, the consultants about the Wilson reading program, and that's mainly for our special ed population, which is then coupled with foundations. Again, working very closely with Director Monachino on that. Had a meeting with the teachers who are being certified in Wilson earlier this week about, do we need more teachers? Do we need coaches? What do we need to continue to move this forward in addition to it alongside of our Wonders, our general ed program? Everybody loves Wilson, everybody loves foundations. How do those two coincide to make sure our children have the foundational skills to be able to make the gains in literacy? In the area of Gifted, what started out as a very small piece talking about equitability for our students in the area of Gifted has really morphed into a much larger piece of looking at students with disabilities and expanding the co-teaching model. Again, all of this is in conjunction with Kim Monachino. We just work very closely together, so we're on numerous committees together. So Gifted is looking now at co-teaching. In addition to that, our ELL population, and trying to make service really closer to home in their home schools. So that is a big part of what we are working on here in the past month. And finally, the curriculum review. What do we need in the classrooms? What do the teachers need? What do the students need? How old are our materials? Do we need to update our materials? We're looking at beyond textbooks, but even technology. And instead of just a review and an adoption, we've started to think about perhaps we need an audit. And that was something that was discussed with the state team review, and then Dr. Zelli had shared with me a consultant, and in chatting with her, just looking more and more at that, had a conversation, informal conversation with Tim and Bernie yesterday, and they even brought up something about that. So taking a closer look at that regarding, is it just a review or is it more of an audit? And then aside from that, doing things such as planning for summer school and working very closely with the Director of Professional Development and Learning, Michael Scott, on what are the offerings for our principals, our teachers, and our support staff this summer. And that's my report.
That's all you did?
That was 2 minutes or less, right, Nick?
Yeah. And remember that Marva and I both co-chair academic standards and rigor. And so for the secondary area, the month of March is pretty exciting because we tackled two ends of the educational pendulum. One was unique curriculum, which is for our MD students, our special ed students, and Kelly Posty and Dr. Montecino brought a company in, and it's unique curriculum is the name of it. It's outstanding how we can actually get baseline data for our MD students who may not be able to communicate. Phenomenal presentation to our teachers, and then our building principals as well. Then the other side is we've been tackling gifted and honors at middle school. We're looking at both math and English language arts. We started to look at it as we opened the third middle school, and we wanted to align the math, make sure we were offering algebra, geometry, open it up to gifted, and now it's actually going to be on Marva's desk as well, K-12. I mean, and there are a lot of hands in this to make sure we do it right. So it's exciting that we are really tackling the middle and allowing it to expand to both ends. So, and then for graduation and what is the name? What is the name? It's graduation.
College.
Career readiness. It's like changed like 3 times. Like whenever I'm out, Dr. Graham changes the title. And it's just
Don't go out, man.
Yeah, I'm like, all I can say is just wait till he comes back on Monday because we're going to change some things. Just kidding.
You know, maybe you could move this off.
So
Or play what he said about it.
Yeah.
If he makes it.
For graduation and college career readiness, you've been aware of early college, you've been aware of Titan College, what's happening in the high school. The testing is going on. We have students who are going to be placed in our CCP program. It's outstanding. The numbers are exploding. We are pretty excited. Every time you talk to Dr. Sturgill, he gets excited. He gets that grin and that twinkle in his eye because that is something that's near to his heart, and it's a great offering for our community. Next Friday, the director of the National Dropout Center, Clemson, Dr. Sandy Addis, will be here in district to meet with at least myself, Dr. Graham, if he's available, and Bill Oley to start getting data for them, because their review team will actually be in the district for our alternative program, New Beginnings, the first week in May. And so they know we want to report back so we can start doing PD for our staff, professional development for our staff in June. And so that's very exciting. And that so ends our report.
All right, thank you very much. Anybody have a question? All right, thank you.
Dr. Zelli, I would like to add, before you move on, we added a nice little graphic in your packet about the third grade reading guarantee. You know, I think anytime we can sing praises, because, you know, it seems like on the outside of Lorain, people don't understand all the good things that are happening. Not everyone. They may want to take a shot at us. So anytime we want to sing praise, we will. And I think it's outstanding. So when you look at the third grade reading guarantee, and we were very aware. I mean, Bill Oley brought it to our attention a month ago how well we were doing, and so it's just nice to see that ODE has something that has our name on it, which is a little feather in our cap.
Wonderful, thank you.
You can clap.
Thank you very much.
Again, when I see this, I always marvel. I've said it before, I know I have. What's going on in Akron? They're doing some great things in Akron. I mean, just consistently for a district that size, they're doing some great things in Akron. I gotta say that again.
Yeah. Akron has probably one of the strongest urban school districts.
I mean, for the size of that district, it was just incredible. They really are.
And you know they have to be top of the line of Bernie work there.
There you go. That's it. No, I know, yes.
So, you know, to that point, with our office, we are trying to have we have the Ohio 8 districts collaborating, and even at the moment, I was trying to ask Ellen McWilliams, can she maybe have some of Ohio 8 share a part of this conversation too? But it's best practices that are going on, and instead of everyone recreating the wheel, just trying to learn from each other.
And you know, Akron has had very consistent leadership, very innovative leadership. The people who are leading their instructional program have been there. I mean, Ellen McWilliams has been there for she probably started when she was 10 years old, but she's been there for a long time. And in leadership, and that really helps if you have.
David James.
Yeah, David James. And David's been there for, I'm guessing, 6 or 7 years now.
Yeah, he's been
Yes,
superintendent.
and he followed Sylvester Small,
Yes, that's why-
who had also been there for a significant amount of time. Yeah.
Good.
So,
I'll add too that I was in an elementary building this morning, and we're in the midst of administering our NWEA assessments. This is the one where the students have to score a 186 on the district vendor assessment, vendor approved assessment. And there were 2 third-grade teachers standing at the counter this morning. And if you could see their excitement about the scores that they just got back for the students who came out of the computer lab, they were discussing, they knew right away how many writs that their class gained, how many writs that their students gained. They knew exactly how many students that they were looking for who hadn't passed one of the assessments yet to pass. And they were talking about, you know, we got ours down to 2 and we have ours down to 3. And they were asking what other opportunities that there are for students to pass. We still have summer school opportunity where students who attend summer school will be able to take the NWEA assessment, and June 11 to 15, the state has scheduled another opportunity for students to take the Ohio State assessment for English language arts. So our kids and teachers are looking forward to those as well.
and that's wonderful to hear that teachers are really invested and they're excited and they're cheering their students along. So that's wonderful. Thank you. Okay. So I just put this on the agenda because the academic recovery plan has been approved by the state of Ohio. So that's another yay. Sorry, I don't know if there's anything that you'd like to share, but I was thrilled that Dr. Rivera approved it and that he was supportive of it, and so I just wanted to share that with everyone.
Well, I know you all, we talked about it in December, we had transition, and you ideally wanted it approved earlier on, but, you know, under the transition we're going through, we just wanted to make sure, as we're going into the ESSA, we're having different lens on everything that we're working with now, but everyone was pleased with the progress you're making, and you have become the poster children for what can be when everybody works together. So we're pleased with the progress you're making.
Related to that, could you give us an update on what's going on with the search for the new state superintendent? How that process at?
Well, on Monday and Tuesday is our state, school state board meeting, and they will be expressing then what their actual plans are. To my understanding, in the last meeting,
Salary.
I believe so, and it was a matter of, it wouldn't be any earlier than June or July that they could.
Have they submitted, they put a listing out, have they posted the position yet?
I don't believe it's been posted yet. But I will find out for sure Monday, so when we come back to the next meeting, they will have met.
Do you know if they're using search firm?
I believe that they are using the search.
I believe so,
but I couldn't tell
because
you.
they initially were trying to do it internally, and they said they didn't have the capacity or whatever. So I think that's who they're interviewing now, search firms and trying to get to the detail. Yes. That's all I can really say.
Thank you, I just
about
wanted to find out where that was at.
Yeah, I understand.
I think they're interviewing the search firms.
Thank you. So before we go into executive session, we need to set up meetings for next month. Mr. Litchfield isn't here, so we may mess up his calendar. Okay. I spoke to Dr. Richard, and he told me if we wanted to do Fridays, that he was available either on the 13th or the 20th. I think I would prefer the 20th, but what about the administration? Yes. That would work? That would work better.
Well, what do you guys have scheduled? Is there, as
Which day, May?
The
The 20th of May, which is a Friday?
A Friday?
Only because we've been meeting on Friday. I know.
Really?
It's the last Friday before graduation.
Yeah, when is school?
Oh, that's the last Friday before graduation?
So
So is that going to be a problem?
No.
Okay, all right.
What is your-
I don't show anything, Nick.
The graduation.
Okay, good.
When's
No, that should be
graduation,
good.
Nick? May what?
24th is graduation, which will be the Tuesday, May 24th.
Okay.
And the school, board- the district is ended on what day?
Is,
Like a week.
yeah, they go through that week,
May 27th?
the 27th.
20th.
So May 20th.
Okay, May 20th. All right, good. 1 o'clock, May 20th?
That would be good.
Okay. Okay, great. Anything for new business? Seeing no new business, could I have a motion to enter executive session to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion of compensated public employees, and to prepare for, conduct, or review collective bargaining strategy, and to discuss pending litigation. And the commission will not take action upon coming out of it.
Second.
Patterson, Ramos, roll call.
Dr. Zelli?
Yes.
Mr. Patterson?
Yes.
Mr. Ramos?
Thank you.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools, TV 20 WLCS.
To purchase a high-quality copy of the program you just viewed, please call Lorain City Schools Television at 282-8400.